What's up, everybody? We are back with another live edition of the Ad Podcast, shooting on the last day, sadly, of Shop Talk here in Vegas. Some would probably say sadly, some would probably say it's a good thing. It's time to go home. We're all tired. But we have Georgia Leybourne, the Chief Marketing Officer of linnworks, here to give us some insights on her experience at the show. Georgia, thanks so much for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here, and I am one of the ones that's actually kind of glad it's at the end. My feet hurt.
Yeah, I went for a 1 hour run this morning just because I've been eating like a pig every day, and I just felt like I had to this morning. So I'm definitely feeling it and carrying my bag to both. But all right, well, let's get into the meat of the interview. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your role, and what do you do at linnworks?
So I'm the Chief Marketing Officer. You can probably tell from the accent that I don't hail from these parts. I'm from Great Britain. I'm from England. I've been in the marketing world for about 35 years now, around the retail tech space for about 15 years. linnworks is a connected commerce ops platform. So we're basically helping retailers take control of their inventory and finesse their operations. Our platform is aimed at making commerce easier for all, not only the retailer, but also the consumer who's shopping. It just basically connects all the different moving parts and makes sure that you get that true seamless customer journey.
Love that. So how has Shop Talk been for you so far this year?
Well, it's vast. It's spread across multiple halls. The first day I took the entire day to figure out how to get from A to B. But it's actually really good. It's been very busy, lots of really good discussions. There's a great mix of retailers here, which has been fun, but some really interesting vendors on the floor as well. And the talks have been top quality.
Totally. So are you a veteran? Have you been here multiple times, or is this your first one?
So I'm a veteran of the European event, but I am a total newbie to the Las Vegas event.
Let's go.
And it's probably about 3 times the size.
Wow, it's that much more.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you talked about content. What was the best one that you saw? What were some of the key themes that you're taking home?
Well, one of the things that I have to confess always frustrates me at these events is, and I know it's an evolving space and it's a great space, and that is retail media. And it's phenomenal for the retailers who want to drive additional traffic to their websites. It's a great phenomenon that's occurring at the moment. The addition to the paid media market by the Amazons and the Walmarts of the world is just fantastic. I can't fault it. But the thing that always worries me about retailers is they've got to pay more attention to when the buy button is actually pushed and how they're going to get the inventory into the hands of the customer. And I walk around and there's not enough people who are worried about that element, making it happen. At the end of the day, when a consumer goes on your website or goes on a marketplace, they want to get their hands on your inventory.
Yeah, it's interesting. I talked to a few people about this trend. It feels a little bit like 1999 where everybody needed a website. When you first had this phenomenon of retail media, you had, the triads of the world coming in and kind of doing it for big retailers and helping them build out their own inventory and basically teaching them the ropes. And then, of course, big retailers like Walmart took that over and built these properties in-house and have very competitive platforms to, the Amazons of the world. Walmart has same-day delivery. It's basically a free service. So they're pretty much on par with an Instacart or an Amazon as far as that customer experience that you're talking about. Like, I buy something and I want it fast. Amazon sets the standard and everybody else is essentially playing catch up. But does it make sense for every single retailer to have a media network and to be building things that aren't uniform and proprietary? And then you have to, it's like the days of early where you used to have to do an insertion order for every website.
But that's what we're in the middle of, that discovery phase, aren't we? Where it's all happening, everyone's jumping on the bandwagon, and then it'll all filter down and we'll figure it out over time.
Yeah.
But the important thing for me is, I think it's very important that retailers diversify. They can't put all of their eggs in one basket. Whether it's advertising, whether it's actually listing their products on marketplaces, they just need to have their feathers in multiple caps, let's put it that way.
I love that. The reality is the customer is the decider, right? Like, they're going to decide if they're going to do online shopping They're going to decide if they go to a third-party platform. Feels like retail, brick and mortar, is having a moment again.
But the chances are that they're going to do all of the above.
Right, exactly.
And that's where the seamlessness comes in. Now, I have long been one of those individuals who, I use Google all the time to search things. I use Amazon to search things. I skip past the paid ads.
Yeah,
I always have.
Always looking
because I'm after that organic result, the result that's been born out of something that's material and comprehensive and actually means something
that's been curated, or like a third-party voice or an advertiser or a publisher is reviewing.
And as a CMO myself, for my business, I believe wholeheartedly in that holistic, organic content that is bringing value to the recipient, that is bringing information, education, knowledge that they might not have had already. And I just believe wholeheartedly in the organic nature of that. I do a lot of paid, we all do, and it's a very important part, but I think that you have to have a good balance.
Yeah. All right, let's switch gears a little bit to you as a marketer and as a B2B marketer in this retail space. So what are the channels that you're active in? Obviously events and experiential, being here at Shopify, but what are some of the other things that are working for you as a B2B marketer in the retail landscape?
So events are very important to me because I do believe in human connection, especially in this post-COVID world where we've kind of adopted this virtual lifestyle. Another medium is the medium that we're using today. I think it's really, really powerful. I like rich media, voice and also visual, and I like short form content. I like it sharp and snappy. And then if you grab someone's attention, then you hit them with the ebook and the smarts and the deep dive. We have a comprehensive website. We do paid advertising on Google. I'm incredibly proud of the mix of direct and organic web traffic that we're creating from our content. That's hugely important to me. And I have a big passion for social. I think social is imperative. One of the things that I discovered recently, though, because I'm obviously, not a spring chicken, so I've had to learn quite a lot of stuff recently, especially in the last 6 months, because everything is changing. Yeah. But when we consider AI search, this is changing the world.
I've heard from some people that their web traffic is down 40 to 60% because of people going to ChatGPT now and using voice to have dialogues with what they would consider like that's. I'm definitely 50-50 Google and ChatGPT, and the difference is you don't leave ChatGPT and click through. You just get the information, cut and paste it, or you're like, okay, that's good information, but you're not actioning on it by clicks.
And lo and behold, where is that traffic coming from? How do you get good results on a ChatGPT search?
Get prompting.
Traditional media, because it's
we're just learning off, right?
And it's genuine, and it's not been AI created. It's come from the mouths of domain experts and that kind of thing. So traditional media is a really, really big play for our organization, and we believe wholeheartedly in curating that content that is completely unique and has never been seen before. But that's what's driving AI search, along with things like review sites, training tutorials, all of that hardcore educational content that is real.
Yeah, I love that. So you talked about the idea of traditional media. I'm going to take that as earned in PR. What is your experience with kind of new media and the rise of the independent journalist or the B2B influencer on LinkedIn?
Love it.
What are you guys experimenting with that as well? Cool.
Yeah, but there's this is where there's a very difficult line to tread, because it's very, very easy to see through a paid influencer who's sycophantically pushing forward your brand. So it's all about building a relationship and building a rapport where you're doing things jointly together. Yes, you may be paying a retainer, you may be, sowing the seeds and feeding that beast, but they are genuinely connected with your business, they're acting as a partner, and they're playing that advocate role for you. And yes, we are dabbling in that space.
Yeah, it's interesting. I come from the traditional influencer marketing space, now working a little bit more in the B2B side as a creator. And the big challenge with like B2B influencer marketing is, you can't hold up a technology platform and talk about it in a social post. You really have to co-create. Sometimes it's not something that you can visually show that well in social, but you can co-create through thought leadership, events, inviting creators to be, early beta partners or alpha partners on new products. One of the things we did with Zendesk is we took their trends report, and instead of giving it to journalists as the exclusive, we gave it to 20 CX trends influencers and gave it to them and said, hey, you guys are going to get it first before traditional media. We're going to give it to you early, and this is the embargo date. We want you to all queue up a LinkedIn post, and we're ready to kind of put your spin on it and then put it out there. And that part of the campaign was responsible for 35% of the total downloads to the white paper, and it was very much a smaller fractional component from a budgetary perspective.
Yeah. And that's part and parcel of what it is that I'm attempting to do currently. Much more successful in the UK than I am here in the US, I have to say.
Sure.
So if there's anyone out there listening in who can support me with that in the US, get in touch, because I am trying to build my network to get better at that here in the States. I've been in the retail spectrum in the UK for 25 years, something like that. So I know those players, I know the different influencers, and I work really closely with them. We've built up a trusting relationship over time, and that for me is the key. I don't want to buy loyalty.
Yep.
I want to earn loyalty through the information that I'm providing to people, through service that I'm bringing, and through the competence of the platform that I have under my fingertips. And you're so right. You can't, take a technology platform out to spin. It's not sexy.
Right.
But actually, it is really sexy, the impact it can have on that retailer in terms of bringing that operational spend down and creating revenue opportunity for them. But I have to have a seat at the table with them in order to be able to have that conversation.
Totally makes sense. All right, Georgia, where do people find out more about what you guys are doing, and where can people connect with you directly?
So you can find me on LinkedIn, and Georgia Leybourne is not a common name, so you'll find me pretty easily. But linnworks.com is our website, and I'd love to hear from you.
Awesome. Thanks so much for spending a little time with us at Shop
Thank
Talk.
you.
Cheers.
It was better.
Safe trip home.